Onifade, and you're welcome to another episode of my podcast, which I intend to do as often as I can until the election. Uh, Today, I'd like to talk about the unity of Nigeria. So many people talk about many things, Biafra, we need to split, Yoruba nation. Uh, Almost seems that the North is binding us together. They don't want to go. There's a lot of confusion. A lot of Nigerians abroad donate a lot towards actualization of Biafra or Yoruba nation, and sometimes I think they don't get it. If you actually do a referendum locally, I don't think I think it's going to be landslide against the agitators. Um, for example, I think all my Igbo friends in Lagos, everybody would prefer to stay in Nigeria because they've prospered a lot in Nigeria to relocating to their region. But I want to talk about history. Uh, before the 19 before 1960, look at what happened across the three regions: Eastern, Western, and Northern. Uh, the Northerners were not very keen about units, a unified country. They were very okay with region, and I want everybody to get that clear today. So this idea that the North that never want us to split, it's wasn't like that before. As a matter of fact, when Modibello was supposed to become the prime minister, he preferred to send Tafa Balewa to Lagos. He said he would rather stay in the north to govern his region. It was a big region then, of course, which included the Christian north and the Muslim north. He was so content with managing the north, the region, that he sent another person, his deputy, to Lagos as a prime minister. So the north originally was pretty cool with regionalism. And then when the coup happened in 1966, and of course the counter coup, the first coup was, some believe it's an Igbo coup, some believe it was, young nationalists. And then we had a counter coup by the north, which was led by northern Christians and northern Muslims. I want to remind everybody that it was Agoye Ironsi, an Igbo man, that actually created the unitary system of governance. That was the first time Nigeria was ruled in Lagos by one man. So it was an Igbo man that actually started it. And then when the North took over power, of course, they wanted to perpetuate. They enjoyed it, and of course, they also wanted to perpetuate it. So I don't want us to, blame any region for this. I think we all regions, so maybe in this context, you're talking about Southeast and the North, enjoyed ruling, and of course, later Yorubas also took over power. So everybody has enjoyed ruling from Abuja. You know, Obasanjo. We've had diverse people, and I think the problem is really not ruling from Abuja. The problem is getting the right leader there. If we have a good leader, no matter how long it takes us to restructure, a good leader can fix things. So my view today to the younger people is let's stop this blame game about who doesn't want to go away, who is pushing regionalism. We found ourselves together. And like I said, it's an Igbo man that actually started a unitary system of governance who wanted to rule us from Lagos. Then the Northerners also, of course, continued. And then, of course, you had Yoruba people also. So let's stop the blame game. We are ready together, whether fortunately or unfortunately. We are together. And I think our diversity can help. How can we work together is what we should talk about. And I don't want to go into those details today, but I just want to say that regionalism is not, I don't also think is a perfect solution. For example, The northern, the governors in the south, in the north, how have they ruled their states? Have the governors been perfect? Is corruption happening only in the federal government? Have the governors, even in the south, spent the money, huge money allocated to them in the last 20 years or so appropriately? NDDC, a lot of funding at regional level, local government, states have not been spent well. So personally, I don't believe that there'll be less corruption or there'll be less waste if we cede more power to the regions or to the states. I actually think it will be worse. Just compare federal universities with state universities or federal teaching hospitals with state teaching hospitals. Is there any entity, is there any organization that the states are running today that are run better than the federal government? Schools, hospitals. I think the answer is almost no. It's no. I can't think of one. Maybe there are a few. It seems to me that the federal government in Nigeria actually runs many organizations better than the states. So this idea that federal government is always bad and states are great, I think it's incorrect. It seems to be a statement in vogue, something people like to talk about. But the reality is that it's not correct. There is corruption everywhere, states, local government, federal government. And I don't think that ceding more power or giving more money to states or regions, whichever way you call it, is a solution to our problems. Solution to our problems starts from electing good leaders and holding our leaders accountable. A good leader at the federal level, at the state level, can help to improve things in Nigeria. So today, for me, the first lesson to everybody is just let's stop saying that this problem is, this problem is because the North wants to dominate all the time. Not necessarily. They were okay with the regions in the past. We in the South started unitary government. Second, we all should take the blame. Everybody. We should understand that the problem is not only from the federal government. There's corruption everywhere. We talk to our, as we begin to as we begin to consider um, our aspirants today. I don't want us to think only about the presidential aspirants. We also need to begin to hold our governors accountable. We need to remind these governors that you have some decent level of power to fix things. We know you don't have all the powers. You're limited in the area of security and many things. But it's important for us to hold our governors accountable as much as we hold our president or federal government officials accountable. I think that that's all I have to say today. And I hope that, we can begin to think as a country, more and more, because we're not going anywhere anytime soon. We're going to be together for a while. Let's not just stop deceiving ourselves. This country is going to be a single entity for a long while, for many more years. If we don't find ways to work together and stick together, and we say that things cannot work until we restructure, then we're going to keep wasting the several years. I support restructuring. I think the country needs to be restructured. But while we wait on restructuring, while we pursue restructuring, this country has to work. The country can work. And let's not put the it's easy to just say, hey, this recent government has failed because of restructuring. No, they failed because they did not run the government well. While we wait to restructure, we need to find ways to fix our country and to fix our country and to make sure that we work together. But one last point I just remembered, like the other point I was going to make, was when we talk about youths, I also want to make it clear youth is a word that includes youth in South and Northern Nigeria. We also need to better collaborate, whether it's obedience or NSAS or whatever. If there is no collaboration across the North and South, we will continue to joke. It's important for us to ensure we are able to collaborate. Um, you know, I see statistics, and I think when people talk about youths in Nigeria, they seem to be focused only on Lagos South, but we have to think about the whole country. I guess today I'm just trying to preach unity. I'm just trying to encourage everybody that is, we're not going. There's just no way we can fix things without working together. There's no way we can fix things with if we continue to blame one region all the time. It's not going to work. We have to be ready to work together because whether we like it or not, the British, they have already created a country called Nigeria, and there's nothing we can do. It's difficult to break apart. I am for Nigeria. I believe the country can prosper as a single entity, and I continue to preach collaboration. Whether in, and take a look at it. When these guys wants to steal, they collaborate very well. There's no corruption that happens in Nigeria without collaboration across the regions. They collaborate across party lines also. They collaborate across religious lines. So why do we have to divide ourselves all the time and blame one region all the time? We need to collaborate. We cannot even get power. You cannot win elections without the North. The South cannot win elections without the North. Same way the North cannot win elections without the South. So collaboration is not an option. We really have to collaborate to get things done, either in the political era or in fixing problems. So that's all I have to say today. And I think the summary of my message is we need to collaborate as a group. Let's stop the blame game. Let's stop this excuse that problems will continue without restructuring. As we wait on restructuring, we can still fix our country. Thank you very much. Until I come your way again, I wish you a blessed week ahead. You can follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. As I try to talk more about policies, about politics until election day.